Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches Round 9. And if you'd like to do your take on today's sketch, use hashtag 30DSCBL9 on Instagram or post it in the Facebook group. Today's layout's by Daisy Scraps, and it's super cute. And I'm kind of sort of going to stay pretty much with it. So pretty much no surprises here today. I'm showing everything that I plan on using today, and I already had those made up, but I was showing the stamp set, and I'm actually going to use some of them. That's my goal, to use some of them. And yeah, I'm going to put some on this layout, and that's the wood textures from Craft Consortium, and this one is the metal textures. And I'm going to use that piece right there, and the reason I'm using it is because it reminds me of the quarried, I hope I said that word right, stone that is in the photo. And, the original sketch has grid paper there. And I even thought about using, well, some grid paper, but I had it out even. But then I thought about using a stencil that was like a grid. And then I remembered this paper here, and I got to use it. I'm cutting, there's no cutting there. I tore it a lot bigger than what they have on their sketch. And if I don't forget, I will point out later why. They have a big green painted area. So I am using green, and I went all the way down just like they did, but then I had to put some over to the right. And I am going to mess up on this. I did not notice it until, well, I was doing the voiceover right there at the beginning. And I will point that out later if I don't forget. My computer has shut down several times. And when you get to the voiceover part and it does it, which it has twice already, yeah, and we're just started. I forget what I've said and what I haven't said. This stencil here, I love it. And it is mostly going to get covered up. Unfortunately, I have reason for putting it there, and it's smaller than I had in my head of the size. So if it had been bigger, that might have been helpful, but it's mostly going to get covered up. On the sketch there, it has doodling over to the left. So I am using the stencil and adding some. I first tried that ink um, pill paint, but it didn't show up good enough. And I was getting ready to use pilled paint on this stencil here and thought, oh no, I can't use it. So I pulled out close to my heart juniper, and it's darker, so it works. They have, maybe it's stamped flowers. Well, Daisy has, it's her sketch on the one up there. And I wanted more color, so I stenciled it first with the juniper. And now I'm taking a pencil that's pretty much the same color and going around the edges of each leaf. And I know my photo's going to be there, but I didn't want to have to go back later and try to stencil a little more. So I just decided to use the whole thing and do the whole thing. I am going to add flowers to our layout, and I thought about on yellow and pink, but I couldn't find a cardstock that was the color I wanted. I've used it all up, so pretty soon I'm going to have to get me some pink cardstock, because this is the second time I've needed pink lately of a certain color. I do have some, but they're kind of on the bright side. You buy it in the store. I bought these in the scrapbook store a long time ago before they closed, and they look different in the light in there. And then you get it home, and it's not quite the same. Um, this paper here that I'm using, well, it's cardstock. It's from Close to My Heart. So one side is a lighter color than the other side. So I'm using both. I'm putting the lighter color on the front and then the darker one on the back. And see those stems? I am pretty sure I used the wrong stems. Now, I cut them wrong because I cut to match the flowers I was going to make. So I cut them wrong and assumed that they went on these flowers, but they don't. They go on the ones that I'm doing now. And I used old paper for the center because it's lighter. And then I pulled out pumice stone and did the edges of those. And they went on there, so I should have made three, but I only made two because I was thinking they went on this one. And anyway, I just go with the flow. I don't pull them back off and do them right. I just went ahead and left them, but later I will regret it. And those dies are by Tim Holtz, and I believe they're called Wildflower Stems. I think that's what they're called. And it comes with like four flowers, well, three flowers, and then that greenery stem there. And I'm going to use them all. Sometimes I might only use one die out of a die set, but I'm going to use all of these. And I'm taking that little, I think it's a lipstick sponge applicator thing. And I was putting the ink where I wanted it. It's kind of hard to get it in the right places on those little leaves. And I was just putting them like on half the leaf or on the end. Wherever I took a notion to put them on each leaf, that's where the ink ended up at. I'm pretty much going to do these flowers the same way as I did those ones that I did wrong earlier. But I'm going to put them on the right stem. And I'm double layering them all. Of course, in the die they're not. And they come as one die. They're not a layered die set. So I'm having to cut them apart. And the taller one there, I made like a little green bud thing on the bottom of the flower. And see how the other ones don't have it. It is the right stem though. It don't have that. And I'll get to looking at the taller one and thinking, man, I really like that on there. So I am going to end up making one before the layout's over. Really close to it being over, though. I think it's the last thing I do. This paper was a scrap because I've already cut off of it before, pretty much for the same reason, to cut me some slats of wood. And in the photo, the picture has a frame around it, it looks like, instead of layered paper behind it. So I am making a frame to go around it, and I made a base first so I could just adhere the slats of wood right there on top. And I was going to make some nails, but my phone rang, I got to talking, came back, forgot all about it. So I probably will go back in there and put some nails on there. And I'm just going to use a marker to do that with. I used the Tim Holtz picture wheel, which is discontinued and has been for a while, for the that picture wheel right there. I got sidetracked. I was looking at what I was doing and thinking I need to be talking about that, which I do need to. But anyway, I used the extra corner up there of the same paper. This was a scrap of wood, and I am making it into a fallen log. And I just freehanded it. I didn't draw it first or anything. So it's pretty simple. And I cut it, inked it, and then I decided I wanted it to look hollow. So I'm cutting it down a little bit on each end and then adding another piece of paper behind it so it'll look more three-dimensional. And I'm going to do that on both ends. And then right before, well, not right before, I take the close-up of it and could see it in my phone, and I stopped right then and did it on the branch that's at the bottom. I did the same thing on it at the end. So when you see the photos at the end, you will see it done too. It's really thin paper, so I am going to end up adding, when I add the foam tape, some cardstock to it to make it firmer, but I cut all that out because this is a pretty long video. And y'all didn't want to see me cut pieces of cardstock to put on there. I probably should have just glued it on one and fussy cut around it. I don't know why I didn't do that, but no, I cut strips and put them on there instead. I'm just tucking my flowers and greenery behind my log, And I'm going to tuck some grass in there too. And then I'm going to get to thinking I'd like a vine, that it needs a vine. So I will be going to the die cut machine and cutting one more thing out. I think it's the only other thing I cut out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I will let you know if it's not. Oh, I was going to tell you about that corner up there. I thought I didn't pay a whole lot of attention. It had Daisy Scraps and a banner up there. And I thought that was like her branding thing, or watermark kind of, but a little fancier. But when I was doing the voiceover when I first started, I actually looked right in that area when I said her name and seen that it is decorated there. It does have embellishment there. It has a matching doodle thing like it does on the left-hand side. Mine don't because I didn't notice it while I was doing the layout. And so I'm thinking now that the banner probably isn't a banner with just her name on it. It was a banner that you're supposed to accessorize. So be warned if you do this layout, that is not a branding area up there. It is actually one you're supposed to put on the layout if you want to copy her sketch to the T. And it would have looked cute with me using that stencil up there again. I don't know if I'd put the banner, but I think I might have liked to put the stencil up there again. Well, one of those phrase stickers right there. Well, they're not stickers because I stamped them out myself, but one of them might have looked good up there. And the ones that I end up putting down there in the corner is do what you love, see possibilities everywhere, and faraway places and daring adventures. And notice I use my, what are they called? Hero Arts foam phrases, titles. I think there were titles. Yeah, I think he got like, well, several packages from Peachy Cheap the time I got it. And I usually make my own titles, but I told myself my goal is to use these. I've had them a while now. I'm using my Bookworm by Mr. Huey's and sprinkling it on my layout, thinking I'm done. But like I said, I kept looking at those flowers and thought they needed something. So I pulled out my snowflake die and I didn't, well, the first one, I cut the whole thing out, punched it, but I had such a little tiny square that some of the others didn't have all the little snowflake arms or legs on there. But I'm only needing 3 anyway, so I'm cutting 3 off and rounding the bottom. And I'm kind of scrunching them up because I don't want them just laying flat on the flower. And I inked them too. I did ink them. And I'm just gluing them on the bottom of the flower to give it just a little something extra right down there. And I like that a lot better than their little bottom shining. And only y'all know, and myself, that it was a snowflake. But if you look down there below, you'll see the links to everybody else that's doing the Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. And there is some new ones down there at the bottom, and they've been doing videos and layouts pretty much every day. And of course, then there's the Facebook group, and oh, so many more there. Awesome, awesome creations. But if you leave a comment below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. And see the stencil there where I inked it and then took the pencil around the edge? I kind of like that. I might have to do that again sometime. It was the sketch gave me the inspiration to do it that way, even though I did ink it. But have fun checking all the layouts out, all the videos. Try some of the sketches, maybe not this one, but try some of the sketches and post them on Instagram or in the Facebook group. Have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.